What's up guys, today we're gonna discuss a washed up Gamergate era YouTuber who has recently come under fire for his takes concerning the Dylan Mulvaney boycott. He drew many quote-unquote parallels between the Bud Light boycott and the Hogwarts boycott, which many had a problem with, including myself. Dev took it upon himself to make a lengthy community post outlining his opinions on the subject, and I'd like to read through them and give my thoughts on the matter as well. The first point is pretty agreeable, until you realize that the Hogwarts boycott sought to deplatform streamers who played the game, have the game banned on several websites, and to harass those who supported it. The Bud Light boycott is literally just people not buying beer. The two are quite different in nature, and it's pretty easy to see that just by scrolling through their respective Twitter hashtags. The second one is just downright retarded and probably in bad taste. Dev was likely trying to be edgy here, but at the same time he's doubled down on this on Twitter. So let me outline a few things for you. Dev. Pikami was a Japanese streamer that catered to a Western audience. Despite her proficiency in English, she is not well versed or acclimated to the kind of harassment campaigns brought on by Western internet users. Pikami sought streaming as an escape from frequent bullying she incurred for being mixed race, and found comfort in a community that embraced her multicultural background. The last thing she probably wanted is for the people she sought comfort from to seemingly 180 and send her death threats as well as threaten to dox her. There's a big difference between her and people like DSP and Boogie2988. Those two are known lolcows, well versed in Western online culture. To Pikami, Western cancel culture is likely a rather alien concept not only to her, but other Japanese people as well, which is why we only just recently began to see discussion surrounding Western cancel culture in Japanese circles on places like Twitter. You simply calling her weak ignores years of abuse and bullying she incurred, as well as the immense cultural differences between Western and Japanese online communities. Shame is a deeply ingrained facet of Japanese culture. To be harassed online is tantamount to public humiliation for anyone, but especially to Japanese users. Many idols in Japan have been driven to suicide through virulent harassment campaigns, and it's likely a knee-jerk reaction to simply submit rather than face further harassment. The third point is pretty agreeable. Both scenarios are unacceptable. But let me put things into perspective. The bomb threats directed at Anheuser-Busch are heavily fringe sections of the boycott. Meanwhile, much larger swaths of the Hogwarts boycott directed death and doxing threats towards individuals playing or streaming the game. Of course, a bomb threat will be and should be treated with more gravity. But the fact of the matter is that larger portions of the Hogwarts boycott were either active, involved, or complicit in the harassment, doxing and threatening of their targets. The next 2 points can be covered by my previous one. So moving on. The people making this claim, if there are any, are obviously wrong. It's still not okay to set up literal watchdog websites to keep track of people who play the game. What do you think the point of the website was? To find out who plays it so they can be sent support? Of course not. These sites were made to deliberately direct people negatively toward or away from those streamers. It was an explicit instrument of the harassment campaign, and even if there is no evidence of people being doxxed or harassed from it, the simple fact that it existed and got as much traction as it did is quite telling of the kinds of people involved in this campaign. The next 2 points are just retarded strawman, and I really don't see how Dev sees this as some kind of own, but whatever. This point right here tries to claim there is nothing political about having a trans individual as part of an ad campaign. The transgender movement and discussions surrounding trans individuals is inherently political. Sorry. The trans movement is steeped in political discourse, and even just hosting a trans individual is tantamount to promotion of trans ideology. Despite what the internet may make you think, trans ideology is still quite a fringe subset of modern politics and culture. Hogwarts Legacy is a fucking video game that had nothing to do with being anti-trans and didn't reflect any of J.K. Rowling's beliefs surrounding transgenders. It's a video game about wizards. It's not a company paying a trans person to promote their product. Sorry to say, but the trans movement itself is highly controversial, and what matters here is the ultimate intent of the end product. Bud Light wanted to show how inclusive they are to a highly controversial subset of the LGBT movement explicitly through their advertising. Hogwarts wanted to sell a video game about wizards. The two are vastly different. The rest of the points are either strawman or don't really concern the Hogwarts versus Bud Light discussion, so I'll leave a link to his community post if you'd like to read it there. Overall, this was a string nuclear bad takes from Dev and was, frankly, flagrantly ignorant. He sought to draw parallels where there were none and used strawman to prop up his opposition as emotional and unintelligent. Extremely anti-intellectual coming from a person like you, Dev. You've had controversial takes before, but this is the big one. The really big one. Enjoy the backlash, Devi.